The Loud House. It's definitely the last and most modern Nicktoon that actually was successful and didn't get canceled after one season. It actually rivaled SpongeBob for a period of time. Now, how do you follow up with that? Well, you get toys, you get video games, and of course you always get the movie. And, well, they did it. They made a Loud House movie. I heard about it a few years ago that it was in development, and it's finally out, and of course I had to check it out. I mean, come on, what man-child wouldn't check out the Loud House movie? And I'm going to give you my review of it. I've never done a movie review before, but this is going to be the first one. So, Loud House is the first movie review I ever do. That's history right there. Am I proud of that? Well, let's find out. Initially, doing my research, I found out that this movie was going to be about a castle, the Loud Castle. And I'm like, okay, so it's a castle, which means that Lincoln and the family probably go to some castle and they have royalty or something. I also heard it's a musical, which I'm not a big fan of musicals. If you want a good Nickelodeon musical, definitely watch the SpongeBob Broadway musical. I don't like musicals, but that SpongeBob musical was a masterpiece. But when I think of Nickelodeon movies, I think of like the Hey Arnold Jungle movie. I think of the SpongeBob movie, I think of all these movies with cool adventures and action, and a musical? That's just what I heard. I don't know if that's actually what the movie's gonna be, but I hope not. But then again, it would be something different. I mean, the Loud House has been trying its best to be the different Nicktoon, which is really what Nickelodeon needs. Variety, not just the same stuff over and over and over, but that's what Nickelodeon is nowadays. Let's hope this is something different, and let's hope it's not just a musical and it's something more than that, because if it was a musical, then this movie's gonna suck. But let's hope it doesn't suck. Let's see if the Loud House movie is actually good. I've heard, now I don't know this for sure, but I've heard that the new episodes of the Loud House are kind of not as good as they used to be, kind of like SpongeBob. So Loud House is already following the trend of SpongeBob. But let's see if this movie will be good. Despite all I've heard, I'm going to watch it right now with you guys. Well, not with you guys because of obviously, I cannot show footage of this movie. Let me go to my Netflix. I don't use Netflix, but I'm going to use it for this movie. It's not in the movie theaters. Maybe that's for a good reason. Or maybe people just wouldn't buy tickets to go see the Loud House movie in the middle of a pandemic. But hey, Netflix, if you have Netflix, watch this movie. Let's do this right now. Where's my remote? Let's get on to the first bit of the movie. You get an origin story. It's not like a true origin story, but it's like a little like montage musical origin story of how the parents of the Loud House met and they had all their babies. That's a lot of kids for one family, but they showed the origin story and then they showed each and every one of the sisters' personalities, which is a great way to show casual audiences these characters, which is the good thing to do. That's what all of these movies should do that are based off of TV shows, is start off the movie with introducing the casual audience to the characters. That's the right way to do it. So that's one good thing so far, is that they introduce the characters for new viewers of the Loud House. Now it's time to get into some conflict here. So Lincoln, he's overshadowed by all of his sisters, and he starts to get a little bit sad, and he talks to his best friend Clyde, the guy who gets nosebleeds over Lincoln's older sister. And the Loud House can have blood, but Invader Zim can't. What the heck? But yes, Clyde tries to make Lincoln feel better and tries to show Lincoln that he is good just like his sisters, but he's still a little bit sad. And then that's where Lincoln gets the idea, like, hey, what if we had some relatives of the Loud family that we don't know about? Well, they know their mom's history, but they don't know their dad's history. So they wonder, well, what is your family tree like? So Lisa, showing her science background, uses the DNA test. And the DNA test, it shows that they're from Scotland. Yeah, Scotland. They want to take a trip. So that's what they do. They take a trip to Scotland. So there's a funny joke here about the Loud family being broke and they don't have the budget for a vacation. So they get to Scotland in a pretty creative way. It's actually kind of funny, and props to the writers for showing the Loud's personalities and how they get to Scotland. So since they're on a pirate ship here, they don't have very good phone signal. So Lori calls her boyfriend Bobby. The signal makes it seem like she's breaking up with him, and he gets really sad. And then, oh my goodness, is that Ronnie Ann from the Casa Grandes? The Loud House movie just did a crossover. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. That show's a spinoff, isn't it? It is a spinoff. Well, Bobby, he doesn't want Lori to break up with him, so he's gonna go to Scotland now, I guess. So when the Loud family arrives to Scotland, it's actually kind of funny. There's a lot of funny jokes here, and everybody in Scotland knows the Loud family as like some kind of a royal family, and they all freak out. So there's more musical angles. Now, like I said, I'm not a fan of musicals, but it's not too bad in this movie so far. And, you know, the music's actually good, so that's fine. It's like one of those Disney movies where, like, the characters randomly break out into song. That's what this is. It's kind of like a Disney movie, but it's Nickelodeon. You know, that's pretty cool to have that. Not many Nickelodeon movies have that, and I've seen a lot of them. Then again, what am I saying? The SpongeBob movie had a bunch of legendary songs. So, I mean, come on. So the Loud family learned the history of their ancestors, and they realized that they are a royal family that looks just like them. This is a picture that was posted to tease the movie, and this is the original Loud family. And, you know, this is a really cool part, because once again, we are introduced to each one of the sisters' personalities, but this time in a royal setting, because they each get their own rooms, and they each get to showcase their own personalities. And it's once again a good way to kind of help the casual viewer identify each and every one of these 11 siblings. And it's good. I mean, for a show like The Loud House that has so many main characters, that's just what you gotta do. So then we are introduced to the Loud family's housekeeper for the castle. Her name is Morag, and immediately I can tell there's something off about this woman. She's definitely going to be the villain. You can just tell by the first introduction of her. But then this is the turning point of the movie, because this is where Lincoln finds out from Angus that the original Lincoln, the one who's 400 years old, that Lincoln was the Duke, whatever that means. And apparently that's like the most important family member. And Lincoln's like, wait a minute, that's me. I should be the Duke. So Lincoln, this is where he goes crazy and he realizes that he is royalty and it's finally time for him to take his throne after all these years. So after Lincoln has an epiphany, then the sisters go on and they find this blue dragon thing that looks like something straight out of Moshi Monsters. So then Lincoln puts on this big presentation for his sisters with this royal outfit on, and it's actually the teaser trailer clip. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, watch that. And everybody laughs at him, as expected. I knew that because I watched the trailer. I knew that was going to happen. So everybody laughs at him, and then they have this big dinner table with a bunch of food. So this time, like at the beginning of the film, where they fought over the breakfast burritos, now everybody gets to eat, and they don't have to fight because the food and the table is so big. But Lily, the youngest daughter, she has her dad's breakfast burrito, and that's a nice little callback and shows that she ain't going mainstream. Just because there's all this rich power and fame doesn't mean that she's going to go mainstream. She's going to eat that breakfast burrito because she knows where she came from. So Lincoln wants to be the official Duke, but then the Angus guy says, well, hey, Lincoln, you can't do that until you get the respect of the town by helping everybody out. Now, at the beginning of the film, Lincoln was shown helping out each and every one of his sisters. So surely he can do it for the town, right? Well, he does. And it's another little musical number, and then all of a sudden you get the Loud House theme song, but it's not the Loud House theme song. It's like a remade version of it with the Loud Castle, and it's also in the teaser trailer as well, so watch that to know what I'm talking about. So Lincoln gains the respect of the town, the family wants to live there, and then Morag, the housekeeper woman, she breaks the fourth wall and sings the Loud House theme song. I'm not even joking. Watch the movie to find that out, and you can tell she's mad at the whole situation. And you can tell she's going to try to put it into it. So we get a little bit of a backstory here. And Lucy uses her ghost summoning Ouija board stuff to summon up the Lucy from 400 years ago from the original Royal Loud family. And, you know, it's kind of creepy. And then Morag, turns out she had a version of her 400 years ago who ran the Louds away from the royal castle. So I think history's going to repeat itself here. So while Morag's sitting here, you know, coming up with this great plan of how to run the Loud family away, Lenny, this boss, comes in here and starts beating the out of Morag. You think I'm joking? Watch the movie. She beats her up. She throws her out the window. And there's more musical stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's good music. And then Morag, this girl, comes in here and everybody's like, yeah, Lincoln is the new Duke. But then she's like, well, only for 1 week because the Louds are on vacation and they're only there for 1 week. And then it's really cool because we get a nice callback to the Loud House TV show. And this is where Lincoln makes a little slideshow to try to convince his parents and his family to let them move to Scotland and stay there. And the sisters and the family automatically say, nah, Lincoln, you're just trying to be the Duke. And then Lincoln's like, well, if we move back home, then we only have 1 bathroom. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants to say, yeah, let's move to Scotland, don't care, yeah! And then now it is confirmed that the Louds are staying at the castle, and Morag's like, nah, sucker, So she comes up with this evil plan, and then Lincoln calls Clyde on the phone and tells him the news that he's moving to Scotland. Clyde, puts a smiley face on, but then it's revealed that he's sad about it and he wants Lincoln to come home. But while all this is happening, Morag's sitting there eavesdropping on the conversation, and then she gets caught by the ghost Lucy from 400 years ago, and then they're watching her. And then we get Morag, who gets her own song here in this musical movie, and it's really good. And honestly, I think she has submitted her legacy as one of the greatest movie villains of all time, up there with some of the greatest Disney villains. Now we have this Loud House character up there. To be honest, she's a really good villain, and I think she fits really well in this movie. So this evil Disney villain, Morag, she manipulates Lincoln. This young boy gets manipulated by this probably woman in her 40s or something, and then she somehow pieces together a way to make Lincoln have PTSD back where he felt like he was overshadowed by his sisters, like at the beginning of the movie. He got PTSD, and all of a sudden the sisters are the talk of the town, and Lincoln once again feels like he's overshadowed by everybody. So now all of a sudden that dragon, that Moshi Monsters dragon that we saw in the beginning of the movie, now he's like this big giant dragon, and Morag has this like gem thing that controls his mind, and she now has control of this big giant dragon, and it's kind of scary, and she's going to use that to her advantage when Lincoln uses the dragon to get the attention of the town again, and he flies around with the dragon, but then she controls the dragon's mind and destroys the town by directing the dragon to crash into all the buildings and everybody, and it's just chaos. And then in the middle of all this destruction, Luann makes a joke, because that's her character. It's kind of funny that she makes that joke. Her joke's not funny, but the fact that she makes a joke while the whole world is like being destroyed is kind of funny. But Morag, her plan worked, and she got the whole town to hate Lincoln. And then, they all run them out of town, and they go back on the pirate ship, and her plan works. And she sits there and she laughs about it. What an evil villain. And then the ghost Lucy. The ghost Lucy is about to be the savior of this whole film as she comes up with a plan to stop all this. Now Angus is forced to crown Morag as the new ruler with the crown of the town, and he doesn't like it. He tries to stop it, but then all of a sudden, the dragon who got fed garbage by Morag, he becomes like steroided up. Morag now takes the throne. She is the ruler of this village place in Scotland, and then all of a sudden the ghost Lucy, as the Loud family got ran out of town, they're going back to their home on the pirate ship. The ghost Lucy comes in, tells the Louds the truth, and then Lincoln has a nice little moment where he's like, I have to do this. I have to save the town. But then the sisters say, Lincoln, you always help us, so we're going to help you. So they go back to the village, and there is an epic fight scene where all of the sisters and Lincoln all get to show their own personality in an epic battle between Lincoln and Morag, and it's actually pretty cool. And if you want to see this, you got to watch the movie. I'm starting to plug the movie now. You can see I'm starting to like this movie. And then there's this point where she has Lincoln at gunpoint. Morag's about to kill him, and then they all fall off the cliff, and then the dragon comes and saves Lincoln, and then they win. They win the fight. Morag's defeated, and then Lincoln finally has this crown, and then everybody is going to crown him the Duke or the king of this royal village. And then Lincoln has a moment where he's like, you know what, I have this crown in my hand, but maybe this isn't what I really wanted. And then I start to think to myself, where have I seen this before? Yeah. Except the difference between this scene and the SpongeBob movie scene where SpongeBob realizes that he doesn't really need to be the manager is that SpongeBob's like, wait a minute, no, I'm just kidding. I do need to be the manager. And he takes the manager tag. But this time, Lincoln doesn't say, you know what, I do want to be king. No, Lincoln decides to give the crown to Angus. And he was the guy who stuck up for Lincoln. It's actually a pretty nice moment and a good way not to completely rip off the SpongeBob movie. So Angus is the new king of this village, and then everybody celebrates, and there's more musical stuff. And then Bobby, who thought Lori broke up with him, makes it to Scotland right as the Louds go back to their house. So that was kind of funny. And then that's the end of the movie, and holy crap! The Loud House movie was actually good! I didn't expect that! I was excited for Loud House to get this movie, I was excited for a modern Nicktoon to get toys, video games, and now this movie. And I was thinking, well, it's about a castle. It's probably going to be some generic plot. Well, it was good. It was actually good. There was emotion. There was character development. This movie had it all, just like the other legendary Nicktoon movies. So yes, the Loud House movie holds up to the standard of Nickelodeon animated movies. And honestly, I think this one should be up there and recognized as one of the better ones. Honestly. And it came out in 2021, past all the Nickelodeon Prime, past everything. You know, even though the Loud House, according to most people, has been kind of falling down in quality, the movie, man, it was good, in my opinion. And honestly, if you were on the fence about watching this movie, just do it. Just watch it, because it's actually not bad. Now that begs the question, well, we all know what happened after the SpongeBob movie, the first one from 2004. We all know what happened after that masterpiece came out. They kept SpongeBob going, and of course, it fell in quality, and the show was just terrible. You know, is that what's going to happen to the Loud House, or is that already happening? Because like I said, according to most people, I don't know for sure because I don't watch the show anymore, but according to most people, the Loud House is already falling in quality. How much longer are they going to continue the Loud House? Are they going to give it the SpongeBob treatment? Are they going to run it forever? Or will Loud House end soon? I don't know. I mean, it's so difficult because in the modern era, cable is dying, and all those cable channels are just slowly losing viewership, and people don't care about them anymore. I'm really curious to see what the future of the Loud House will be. If you want like a series finale, this is good. The Loud House movie, man, I'm glad it's here. It's only on Netflix for now. I hope we see it later on in other streaming services like Paramount Plus, obviously, or we see it on TV. We're not going to see it in the movie theater, I don't think, but, you know. At first I was thinking, okay, I can see why it's not in the movie theater, because who's going to watch a Loud House movie? I kind of wish it was in the movie theater, to be honest. Kind of like Sponge on the Run. Just kidding. Sponge on the Run sucked. I'm glad it wasn't in the movie theater. COVID happened and it ruined it. But the Loud House movie, imagine if it was in theaters, it probably wouldn't do well in the box office, because I don't think Loud House is that big of a name to do well in the box office. But you never know. Either way, that didn't happen. It's on Netflix for now. I assume it'll be on Paramount Plus one day, so more people can watch this movie. That's actually pretty good. I'll say it. I like the Loud House movie. The animation's beautiful, but it is pretty similar to the show. And the jokes were a little bit meh. Like, there wasn't too much joking. It was more about storytelling, which, you know, if this was SpongeBob, I would say no. SpongeBob is a comedy, right? Well, Loud House, it's like a slice of life show, you know. You can do without too much comedy, so that's why it worked. But yeah, the Loud House movie's definitely up there, and you should definitely check it out. And thank you guys for watching my review. I guess I'm the Nickelodeon guy now. I did the Middlemost Post Patrick Show initial thoughts. I did the Nickelodeon tier list, and now I'm doing the Loud House movie review. Well, I guess I'm the Nickelodeon guy now. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more Nickelodeon stuff someday, I guess, if that's what y'all know me for. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this Loud House movie review. And I'm Fanlox. Subscribe for more vlogs, and see you later.